Brittany, how are you today?
I'm okay. I just want to let you know that I know that I have to be here every day this week, and I know that this is important, but I don't know how I'm going to get here because my car got towed, and my husband works full time, so I don't know how in the world I'm going to get here. So I just wanted to let you know that up front.
Okay, well, thank you for that, and first of all, welcome to the Hope Center. It kind of sounds like, looking at your file, that this is going to be a place where you can get the help that you need should you choose to come weekly. So I understand getting your car impounded is a difficult situation. Thank you for letting me know that. Would you like to tell me a little bit about how that occurred and in fact why you're here?
Well, basically, I was leaving a friend's house, and I got pulled over for speeding, and the officer smelled weed in my car, and so he had the dogs come out and search it, and I had a little bit of weed in my car. So it got impounded, I got arrested, and I got charged with misdemeanor for possession and placed on 1129 probation. So part of my probation, and the only reason I'm here, minus my husband, is that I have to complete this program. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. It's very difficult, I'm sure, for you to be here, first of all. And second of all, it sounds like a lot has occurred. So you were arrested after being stopped. That can be difficult as well, having a dog search your car. That's very tough to deal with. So you're arrested, you went to court. It does sound like, though, the judge was kind of lenient. That works out for you. In fact, I'm assuming that if you complete treatment, that won't go on your criminal record. So that's probably good. And it also sounds like you're a little concerned about how your husband might feel about this situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to say now that I'm this unfit parent because I got arrested. And I mean, my kids have never wanted for anything. I go to work every single day, I pay the bills, I'm there. I cook dinner every night. In my opinion, I don't really feel like marijuana has ever stopped me from doing anything in my life. Yes, I know it's illegal, but I don't feel like it's a problem. I don't feel like I'm this addict that he's trying to pin me to be.
Right.
You know, I just think this is all kind of crap, honestly. I don't have any other problems, and I don't really feel like I need to be here.
I totally understand that, and it sounds like now your husband just is watching you, and you have a judge watching you, and you're on probation, but it also sounds like you care about your family, and sounds like in your mind, and perhaps your husband's, you're a great mother, and you provide for your children. They're well fed, they're well cared for, and this is the only trouble you've been in before, so I can see where you might not think that this is a problem for you.
I mean, I don't think, this is something that has never affected my life. So I don't feel like, I should have to go through a treatment facility when I don't really even feel like I have a problem.
I understand. Well, let me ask you this. Would you mind telling me about maybe how much you smoke every day and what a typical day with or without pot is like for you?
Well, I mean, I usually wake up in the morning and I get my kids ready for school and I send them off to school, and then I smoke a bowl and I get ready for work. And so, I mean, I'm not like super high when I get to work. I just like knock the edge off in the morning. It gets me motivated. I go to work and I have a really high stress job. I mean, I'm an accountant. I mean, that's what I have to sit in front of a computer all day long, like crunching numbers. And if I don't do something, like I would die if I have to sit in this cubicle all day.
Right.
So, after work, I come home and I take care of the kids. I make sure that, they're fed, they're bathed. We do story time, they go to bed, and then I smoke a bowl before I go to bed to help me sleep. But,
Right.
Other than that, I mean, I may smoke with my friends on the weekends because that's what we do. We don't drink alcohol. I mean, that's stupid. We don't drink and drive.
Right.
We just, meet and, smoke a bowl and hang out and, with each other. And I mean, that's just what we've done for years. I mean, I've been smoking since I was 15 years old.
Right.
I'm 31 now, so.
Right. It sounds like weed is in fact quite a large part of your life, your social circles, those folks that you hang out with, they do that as well. It's part of your daily routine, but it also sounds like you're responsible in that you have a very good job, but it's also stressful. It is normal for people to look for ways to de-stress when we come home every day, and also to take the edge off, as you said, in the morning. But it also sounds like you're still making sure you're taking care of your kids, that they're fed before they go off to school. So it sounds like there's a lot going on with weed in your life. Let me ask you this. Do you remember a time when you before you were 15 or a time as an adult even that you didn't smoke weed, and what life was like for you then?
Yeah, when I first married my husband, he didn't like it. And, I told him that it wasn't something that I was addicted to, and so I could stop anytime I wanted to.
Right.
And he basically said, well, why don't you stop now? And I was like, sure, why not? I'll stop. So for the first 2 years we were married, I didn't smoke at all.
Right.
And then, life happens. I mean, we almost lost our house. He lost his job. And I just got really stressed out, and I just wanted to smoke. And he understood because, it was a really stressful time for both of us. And he, didn't say anything about it. And so for years now, he hasn't said anything about it until now.
Right. So it sounds like you're able to communicate with your husband about your drug use, and he's either understood that or not, and you decided as a couple that you would stop, and then you started back again. So do you see now that maybe there might be an issue with smoking?
I mean, obviously, I don't think so, but I want my husband to, be proud of me, and I don't want to be here. I think this is embarrassing to have to come to treatment.
Right.
So, I understand that there are, consequences, but, I just don't think it's fair.
Right. If I can ask you, or just let you know, and I'm sure you know now, there are certain risks when you use drugs. You might get caught. And you mentioned earlier that you don't drink and drive, but do you see a difference between being high and driving, maybe on your way to work in the morning after you smoked a bowl, and then perhaps having a couple drinks and driving to work?
I feel like I drive fine when I smoke, but there have been times where, I've kind of dazed out when I was driving.
Right.
And I didn't really remember where I was at, and then it was my exit, and I was like, oh wow, I just completely forgot 25 minutes of driving, So, I think it could be dangerous, but I feel like I have a good tolerance. I feel like I'm okay.
Right. So what I've heard before, and what I'm hearing from you now, is that you're aware there is a risk, and it's kind of impaired your driving at one point. But at the same time, you probably enjoy smoking. It allows you to take the edge off and de-stress, and I understand that. Let me ask you this, if you don't mind. Would you picture your husband here in the room with us, and maybe tell me a little bit about what he would say about your smoking weed at this point in your life still?
He would tell me to grow up. He would tell me, you have 2 kids, we have 2 kids, we have this life. Why do you have to have this thing in your life?
Right.
And, I don't really have an answer for him. I think it's just something I've always done, and, I don't really know what to do to really change something I've always done.
Right. Sounds like a difficult decision, and one that perhaps you've made in the past with your husband as a couple, because you probably chose that, I'm guessing, to make sure that you take care of your children. It sounds like you're both very loving and responsible parents, but there's this one small issue that perhaps is a recurring theme in your life. And you enjoy it, yet at the same time, I think sounds like you're aware of the risks that are associated with that, though.
Yeah, I know there are risks, and, I don't want to lose my kids. I don't want this ever to be something that, my kids are involved in.
Right.
I've been very careful to keep it away from them.
Right.
And I don't want something to happen and them to find something, or to, start using at 15 themselves. I don't think there's anything personally wrong with it as an adult now, but, I could have used some guidance at 15 telling me not to smoke weed.
Right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it would be nice to have had somebody to tell me, don't do that. And I don't want my kids to be 15, smoking weed, and they're getting it from their mom.
Right.
So.
Again, it sounds like you're responsible, and adolescence is a difficult time, and if your children are coming toward that age, if they were to see you smoking, they could adopt that behavior as well. But let me ask you, what motivated you to make that change in the past when you and your husband discussed stopping smoking? And tell me what that was like, just to stop, and how you might have done that.
I really had to find ways to calm down, because I just would get really stressed out. I would come home and there was just a lot going on. I don't know. I think I just, learned how to deal with my stress better. And, now I feel like, I don't know if I could, but I did before, so I'm sure, I could again.
Right. It sounds like that you remember the time when you just stopped, and what I heard is that you said you found ways to de-stress without the use of marijuana. So it sounds like maybe you might be willing to make a change again at this point in your life.
I think I could. I mean, I just don't want to be in this position again. I want to be with my kids. I want to be with my husband. I mean, I do want to just, make this go away and start afresh. I just don't want this to be there anymore. So, I mean, I'm willing to do, whatever it takes. Obviously, that's why I'm here, to be done with this. So, I mean, yeah, I think so.
Good. It sounds like, again, what I'm hearing is that you are a bit motivated by your children and by the situation. Perhaps you would like things to be a little smoother between yourself and your husband. So think down the road. Let me ask you this: where do you see yourself in a couple of years?
We talked about having another kid, so maybe having our third child. We talked about moving, and I see myself with another baby and moving
Right.
to Nashville. We talked about there's some good job opportunities out there for him and I, so that's kind of where I see ourselves right now.
Sounds like you and your husband both have goals for growing your family, and tell me what life would be like as you picture it, with 2 children and a newborn and smoking weed every day.
Well, I mean, I don't think it would be good. I don't think it's something that, I don't want to be like, the 50-year-old smoking weed,
Right.
I just want to find a way to deal with everything that's going on without having to, explode.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think it's going to fit my life anymore.
Right. Well, again, it sounds like you're kind of recognizing that it might be time for weed to leave your life again, so to speak, and that you have goals, and that perhaps that could get in the way, and that you don't see that as a part of your life, in the future. So what I'm hearing also is that there's some amazing opportunity for change here, and I hope that we can work on that in the future with you. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll try.
Great. Thanks for coming to the Hope Center.
Well, thank you. Hello, Scott, it's so nice to see you today. Welcome to the Hope Center.
Thank you.
My name is Miss Adams, and I'm here today to just kind of tell you a little bit about our program and to kind of see why you're here today. So we've already discussed why you're here, or our program. So why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit of why you're here today.
Well, first of all, I had to get a ride because I can't drive until they give me my license back. It's going to be a couple of weeks, so it's going to be hard for me to get here for 2 weeks, and kind of pissed off a little bit about it because I've never been arrested for anything in my life, and I got a DUI a few weeks ago, and it was my first. I've never had anything like that happen. It was really embarrassing, and I kind of pissed at work. So, but the judge diverted it, or there's a diversion, however they do that. But he said if I come and talk to somebody and get a little outpatient help, then it won't go on my record.
So it really sounds like you've had a very traumatic experience with this whole situation. You said you got arrested and then you had to go to court and everything was found diversion.
Yeah, traumatic. Let me tell you, the back of that police car smelled like vomit. I don't know who was in there before I was. It was nasty. I've never been in a place like that before. It just really, really stunk. But yeah, so I've got the diversion thing going for me. I've never done treatment except probably 20 years ago. But anyway, yeah, I really don't see why I need to be here. I don't have a problem with drinking or anything. I just got unlucky. I got caught. Everybody drives drunk. I just got caught.
I can definitely understand how you feel like you've been singled out, in this whole situation, and
They were watching.
you feel like they were watching you.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Important people like me with these good jobs. They
So-
love that.
What job do you do? Tell me about your job.
Well, I was the vice president of an aluminum siding company. I know it's really exciting, but I was the VP, so I have this big job, right? I drive everywhere. People watch you, and they see the man in the suit go to the bar after work, and then they like wait for him to leave. I know how these small towns are. They just look out for you. But make really good money. The problem is now they're a little embarrassed that this happened. I'll go out and drink with the president of the company, sometimes 3 or 4 nights a week. Nothing ever happens to him, but it happened to me, so I don't know what's going on. But they're a little embarrassed about this, so I don't want to lose my job, so that's also kind of why I'm here. I figured, what the heck, I'll come talk to you.
Well, it sounds like you really care about your job and you're very important in what you do. You're the vice president of this really, really great company, and you feel like this is something that other people do and other people in the company do, and it just happens that you got caught this time. Is that kind of in line?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm just a country boy that made it big, so to speak. I just happened to go to school and got lucky. And it's not a great company. Selling aluminum siding is boring as hell. Let me just tell you, there's 3 colors. It's real simple, right? But my wife, I care about her quite a bit, and this has kind of hurt her a little bit too. She's not too happy with me. In fact, I had to sleep out in the camper the other night. That wasn't pretty. So I'm just saying, I'm willing to come here and do this because I want her to be happy with me. And they pay me lots of money to sell this crap to people, so I want to keep doing it.
So it sounds like you really have a reason that you really want to be here. You care about your wife and you care about your job, and you really like what you do. Is what I'm hearing right now. You're good at it.
Well, yeah, I do like it as much as I joke about it. It's a good job and the paycheck's nice and the double wide's beautiful. She loves that. So I'm just saying, I want to take care of her. She cooks for me every night. She takes care of our 6 kids. We've got a big family. They're getting up in age now in high school, and they don't need to see this happening to their father. So.
Well, it sounds like you really care about your kids, and you don't really want them to see you, in a situation like this in the future.
Yeah, that's about right. You could say that. And I'm not getting any younger, and sometimes it's hard if I drink a lot at night to wake up in the morning. I'm usually on time for every day. My father always said wake up and be on time for work, and I'm doing that. But so it gets harder as you get older to wake up after you've been drinking at night.
And you have a really good value system. It sounds like you really, pride yourself on being a good worker and getting there on time. And it can be hard, from what I'm hearing, that to be getting up now, that maybe your drinking has gotten a little bit more as you've gotten older.
Well, the job, it's stressful. It's stressful, and all the kids, and I got to pay all this money for all these kids in football uniforms, cheerleading outfits, and cars, and all that junk, But I don't want anybody to tell me to quit drinking. I shouldn't have to. It's my, I shouldn't have to quit completely at all. I can still hold my liquor. Don't get me wrong.
I understand. I mean, it seems like you feel like you're a good dad, and you're trying to provide for your kids, and it sounds like you do a great job. And it's stressful to have 6 children, and to provide for them, and be a vice president of a company. I mean, that's it's a lot to deal with. So I mean, I can understand that you feel like you should be able to do these things and enjoy them. And it sounds like you don't really know why you're here, and you don't really feel like you need to be here.
Well, just the judge said I needed to, and the wife's a little angry, and but the main thing really is I don't want to mess my life up. I want to keep the job, and those kids could hide groceries, and that's expensive, so I got to keep making money, and I won't be able to get another job like this one either.
I can definitely understand where you're coming from. You want to make sure that you have a job and a livelihood for your family, and it sounds like your wife and your kids are very important to you. And is that part of the reason why you're here?
Yeah, that is. And like I said, I'm not getting any younger. And the doctor said, he told me to cut back a little bit. I didn't tell him exactly how much I drank, but he tested my liver, and he said, you've got this liver enzyme that's a little elevated, and it's probably because of that. And I said, well, I'll cut back a little bit, but I can't stop completely. But yeah, I basically want to keep my job, and I don't want to kick off early. I'd like to live a little longer, and there's too much football and NASCAR to watch in this world.
So you've got some health reports back, and the doctor said that you had some elevated liver enzymes.
Yeah.
And so did he make any recommendations for you?
Oh yeah, quit drinking. I said, hell no, it's not gonna happen. I don't wanna quit completely. He said that, but you better cut back. He said somebody your age shouldn't drink anything more than 2 glasses of whatever a night. So he said to cut back a little bit, but that won't be any problem.
But what I did hear you say that I thought was really great was that you said that you want to stick around for a while. That you're not ready to kick the bucket, that you do want to, think about your health and that you do want to be here.
Yeah, that's true. I do want to live a little longer. There's a lot of things I want to do and take some trips with the old lady and, see the kids graduate from college. That's important.
I think that's great. I think that, you have a lot of really great goals. What would your wife, if I had your wife and your children in here, what would they say about your drinking?
Well, they probably, my wife would like me to come home a little early to be there when the kids come home, after school. And if you go out every night with people from work, then you don't get home till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And when you get there, you typically go to bed, go to sleep early. So they want to see me a little bit more. And then, of course, this whole thing about going to jail, that just wasn't pretty. And she's got a lot of friends, and I think her friends are, they're not making fun of the situation, but they're just, it's embarrassing for her to have to tell her friends that she plays cards with or goes to get her hair done and everything, that her husband went to jail. So that's a little difficult for her.
It sounds like, you don't really want her to have to experience some of this embarrassment.
No, she doesn't need to go through this ever again. That's, that's important to me. I love her to death, and nobody should have to deal with that kind of embarrassment.
So do you feel like you are able at this time to maybe think about, not drinking?
Well, that's possible. I mean, I've drank all my life, off and on, but, nothing to where it was a problem. But, I would for the family. I could probably look into that.
So Scott, if you could really see yourself in the next 5 years, where does alcohol fit in your life at this time?
Well, I don't know. I think things would be a little bit better if I did give it up and if I stayed at home. My wife and I get along really well. I enjoy her company, so I would like to spend more time with her and take more trips and things. So, but if I don't have a driver's license or a car or a job, I can't do any of that. So it's probably something I would think about, just not drinking at all.
You make some very, very good points. If you don't have a driver's license and you don't have these things, then, you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. So, it sounds to me like you have some things, that are very important and some reasons and some people in your life who could really benefit from you making a change. Yeah,
and I'm told that a liver is expensive if I need another one, so I probably should be good to the one that I've got. That's probably the main reason that'll keep me alive if I quit drinking. And plus, I love Southern sweet tea, so I can switch to that if I need to, but I don't want to too soon.
I think that sounds great. I mean, they have some flavored teas that are delicious. So.
Up there at the McDonald's, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today, and
Okay.
I hope that we can help out.
Yeah, I'll be back next week.
All right.